All right, this is a movie review for Kraven the Hunter. I seen it on Wednesday night, 7:35 p.m. And that time will tell you. Well, I will get into it later on in the review. This movie kind of didn't suck, but it almost sucked. It was better than Joker Part Two, but not that much. When I say not that much, I mean way not that much. Okay, here's one or two things. You could either like go see it as like if you're into the Spider Universe and you know who Craven is, or you could go there, but don't expect any high expectations. I mean, it does him justice, but not that much. And if you go see it as like a person who doesn't know jack shit about the Spider Verse, and you think it's like some action film with a guy who has like superpowers, it's about the same expectancy as if you know who he was. All right, so not big change there. You got a few guest roles in here. You got Calypso, who's like a voodoo queen, and they kept it almost the same as they did like when Todd McFarlane took over, the guy who did Spawn, and but not that much because in the movie she ended up being a lawyer, which I don't know where the hell they got that idea, but it gets worse. Like our next villain, the Foreigner. In the comics, he's a mercenary for hire, but in the movies, he was almost like Quicksilver, which I don't know where they got that from. In the count of three, he could be right in front of you, and next thing you know, he's like standing right in the back of you, blowing your head off. So that was retarded. Then you got the Rhino. Now this version of Rhino, I kind of like enjoyed it much better than the Amazing Spider-Man's version with Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. The only reason is like this wasn't some guy in a knockoff Rhino suit that's terrorizing everybody. He actually got his powers from Dr. Miles Warren, who, and if anybody knows who he is, he used to be the Jackal back in the late '90s, I believe it was, when the whole Clone Wars saga began, and you got all these spider clones running around, which was a total mess. And so you only get to see him as like the full Rhino toward the end when he's fighting with Kraven, but otherwise than that, he just like talks about it, or sometimes when he lets loose, you only see like his skin hardening and changing, to Rhino's surface. But that's about it. Just like one piece of his arm, and that's it. So that was a little bit of a disappointment. And then you got the Chameleon. Chameleon was Dimitri's Sadganov, which is Craven's half brother. Now they didn't go into his past about him, just that he's like adopted, I think it was, and he got into the family, and that's about it. He was a chameleon toward the end of the movie. Yes, there are going to be spoilers since like the movie is going to be probably in video like in 2 seconds after I shoot this one, but it doesn't matter. At the end, you see the chameleon changes faces around, which it kind of like leads into a Kraven the Hunter Part 2, which don't hold your breath because I doubt there's going to be a Kraven the Hunter Part 2. But, that's about it. But the only good part about it, and then when Kraven asked the chameleon or Dimitri, how did he get like this? He goes like, oh, he met a doctor out in New York, which is the same doctor that the Rhino took. Which, in a way, it's good. Because, like all these villains got these powers from a needle. So if they decide, which I hope they don't, do like, some background history of how they became these characters, there's not going to be much origin. It's not like, like he got into this or that's how this happened and he became this. It was just a needle shot and that's it. So in a way, it gave him like an easy way out. Now back to the 7:35 p.m. time slot. Just to let you know, this movie was like a little like around 2 hours. There are no post credits to this. Even not that I stayed for it. I just like left when it was over, and I just went on YouTube, saved me the 10 minutes or whatever it is, to find out there are no post credits. But it started 7:35, so it's not a late movie. It's not like you're going to a 10 o'clock show. And somewhere in between, from 7:35 to like 9:35 or whatever it was, like within those 2 hours, I actually dozed off. All right, I caught myself sleeping like for about a minute or two, and then had to wake myself up. All right, that's how exciting this movie was. There was an action scene in there, not like top notch, but it does what it does. And with Kraven, if you don't know him, he has like the powers of the jungle, like everybody within him. He's strong like a lion, falls on his feet like a tiger. He's fast as a cheetah. You get the point. But the one thing that's like funny as hell in this one here is like how he scales the buildings, like Spider-Man does, which in the comics he never does that. He does everything else, but he doesn't do that one. And there's one part where he's, like he talks about his mother and everything else, and he gets like this hallucinogen dart, trying to like, so the bad guys could kill him. And next thing you know, he sees all these spiders coming down at him, because like his mother was afraid of spiders, and I guess it got down to him, so he's scared of spiders. So maybe that's a hint about Spider-Man, but who knows? Like I said, I doubt they're gonna make a Kraven 2, even though like it looks like it was like leading up to that part. But that's about it. That's about it for this marvelous, fabulous movie. Sarcastic. So that's about it. I mean, like I said, it's I don't know if I said it or not, but like nothing could beat the Joker Part 2, and this one was like a little bit higher than the Joker 2, but not that much. But it was like nowhere close to like being as silly and stupid and dumb as Madame Web. But it's close, somewhere around that vicinity. So if I gave it a star, I don't know. I can't even like be sentimental like, hey, I could give it 2 stars. It's probably like a star, maybe a star and a half. That's about it. 2 stars? No, I'm not even gonna go that far. Not even 1 3/4 of a star. I'm not gonna go that far. I'm lucky if I'm giving it 1.5 star. But that's about it for that. And I'll see you next time. Bye.